Hi guys, it's me, Vampireleniore, and today I'm going to talk about some some of my favorite family appropriate Halloween kind of movies, or movies that are just like spooky cute, I guess you would say. These are in no particular order because I'm bad at picking between things that I like, and I was going to make it like the top 10 or the top 20, but I came up with 22 and they're all worth mentioning, so I'll just go ahead and get started. First of all, Hocus Pocus. You knew I was going to mention it. If you've ever seen that movie, you know why. I'm talking about it. It's amazing. It's a very, very good Halloween movie. It came out, I think, in the early 90s, and it's like a timeless classic. But yes, I absolutely love that movie, and you will too. It's very lighthearted, but at the same time nice and spooky and very just perfect for Halloween. Alright, and number 2, of course you knew I was going to mention this one too, is Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually never got the pleasure of watching that movie until I was 12 years old or 13, and I love it. I think it's really well done. I love claymation, I love stop motion animation in general. It has a very interesting look to it. I love the music in it. I love the characters. It's just really amazing. And, you know, I love my old school, like, Tim Burton movies. I know that he's not the one that directed that, but I think he was a producer or something like that, or he wrote it. Anyways, number 3 is The Witches. It's a really cute movie, and as Angelica Houston, that's always a good thing. I don't want to give away too much about these movies just in case you guys haven't seen them, but obviously this one is about witches, and it's really good. Number 4, Beetlejuice. Some of these, like, people might not think are really family appropriate, but I think that all of these are, in my opinion. I love Beetlejuice. It's one of the few amazing movies I got to see at a really young age, thankfully, because I love it. It's always been a favorite of mine, and everybody loves Lydia Deetz, so I'm just gonna say that. Alright, and then number 5. I don't know why I'm saying numbers since these are in no particular order as far as my favorites go, but anyways, Addams Family Values. And this is I actually like the first one a little bit more than this one, but I still love it. And yes, I just love the humor, and I feel like Gomez and Morticia have such a cute relationship. They're like disgustingly cute together, I guess you'd say, and I don't know, I just love the dark humor, and I love the characters, I love the aesthetic of it. It's just a lot of fun to watch, and I watched the show for a while, and I actually like the movies even more than the show. I just feel like the casting was perfect, and the director and the writers and stuff, they added like so much to it, so much personality, and I don't know, I really love it. Alright, and then we've got Coraline. Of course I'm going to say Coraline. Coraline is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the soundtrack. That's like one of those things I listen to every Halloween. I had forgotten to mention that in one of my videos where I was talking about some of my favorite Halloween music. I'm going to assume it was a Halloween tag. That is definitely, without fail, something I listen to every year around Halloween. I just feel like it's spooky and it's innocent and it's just extremely well done. The person that did the soundtrack did an amazing job, and the movie itself is very well done. I like it at least as much as I like the book, and usually, since I'm such a bookworm, I'm usually very let down by film adaptations of books that I really like, but that one did not let me down. I thought it was amazing, and I saw it in 3D, and that's one of those movies that was worth seeing in 3D, let's just say that. Then we got ParaNorman by the same people who did Coraline. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. I just love everything about it. And I love his friend Nile. I think his name is Nile. I think he's hilarious. Alright, and then we've got Halloweentown. I watched that again relatively recently, like in the last couple of years, and it is quite cheesy, but I will always like that movie because, well, I think that I'll always like that movie because it just brings back lovely childhood memories, and when you're a young child and you see that movie, it's very awesome to watch. I don't know. Just the idea of like a town filled with spooky creatures that are friendly is interesting, you know? I don't know. And then, next on the list is the Addams Family, of course, the first one. I love it so much. Even more than the second one. And then Casper. I loved Casper. Casper has always been one of my favorite movies. Christina Ricci was on a roll back in the day. Just one amazing movie after another she was in. And I remember, like, when I was a little girl, I thought that Casper's, like, human form was cute. I was, like, a really young kid at the time. It's weird. I was, like, obsessed with blondes with blue eyes when I was a young child. And then once I was, like, 8 years old, all of a sudden I liked nothing but people with dark hair. And, alright, next we've got Monster House. It's pretty cool. It delightfully surprised me because I wasn't particularly interested in it at first, and then I watched it and it was really good. Next on the list is Hotel Transylvania. I really like it a lot. I don't like the music in it. That's my one complaint about it. But I find it to be like silly. I find it to be charming. I find it to be lovely, aesthetically pleasing. I like the characters. I like the story. I just think it's really cute. Next on the list is, ooh, I don't know how this one made it to this list. I think that it has like a age-appropriate listing, like PG-13, or I mean rating, PG-13 or something like that. It's Something Wicked This Way Comes. If your kid is like really scared of a lot of things, maybe don't show them this movie yet. But yeah, it's really good. My boyfriend actually showed it to me recently because I had never even really heard of it before. And I mean, like in the last couple of years. And I really liked it. It was very well done. I think it's a Disney movie, if I'm thinking correctly here. And, oh yeah, I'm just gonna mention this. Rick and Morty did an episode called Something Wicked This Way Comes or something like that, where Morty's sister is working for the devil at a shop. That is based on Something Wicked This Way Comes. Everybody keeps saying that it's based on cheap, what is it called? I watched it. It's a movie with Jack Nicholson and it's based on a Stephen King book. But yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but everybody keeps saying that it's based on that. It's not. It's based on Something Wicked This Way Comes, and that came out way before that movie with Jack Nicholson. So just straightening out that rumor. It's not based on that. Alright, next is Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. I love, like, these, not a lot of them. I guess a lot of them. I love a lot of those old musical movies, like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Bed Knobs and Broomsticks and Mary Poppins. I just love all the effort that people, like back then, actors had to be not just actors, but they had to be singers and dancers, and just like people like Dick Van Dyke are amazing. Like I find them so impressive, you know, the work and the talent. All right, next we have Little Monsters. It's pretty cute. It's another one of those things where it's like you've discovered this whole other dimension filled with like little cute monsters. And then Corpse Bride. I've got a Corpse Bride blanket. You probably figured out by now that I like Corpse Bride. A lot of people hate it. I don't. I mean, of course there's parts in every movie that you can nitpick at if you really want to, but I really love it. I love the look of it especially. And then next is Tales from the Crypt. I love the show. I love the movie. I love shows like Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Tales from the Dark Side. That stuff is really awesome, and I could watch it. I mean, I've been watching them since I was a young child, and they're just so far beyond their time, especially Outer Limits. Alright, and then Gremlins. You could say that that isn't a Halloween movie. You could probably argue that about a lot of these, but to me it is. And yeah, it's a classic. Then I've got to mention Spirited Away and Kiki's Delivery Service, because they're both spooky and they're both cute, and Hayao Miyazaki's work is just some of the best out there. I really love his movies, and those are two of my favorites. Especially Spirited Away. Spirited Away is like his best movie that he ever came out with. Alright, and then, last but not least, is Matilda. I love Matilda so much. I can relate to Matilda so much. I've been obsessed with reading ever since I was a little girl, and you know, acceptance is not something that I got a lot of when I was a kid, and I can relate to her on many, many levels. But not only that, I just find it to be such a cute movie, and it's just very heartwarming, and it's just a story very well told and very well executed. And if you've never seen it, I recommend definitely seeing it as soon as possible because it's so cute. I'm sure you guys have probably seen all these movies on this list, but if you haven't seen any of them, go check them out. It will make for a good Halloween, and if you have kids, then they'll love it too. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope that this video was somewhat entertaining. I figured I would share some of my Halloween favorites that are family appropriate. If there wasn't a Halloween movie that I mentioned in here, it probably just means either I haven't watched it, I didn't think to add it to the list, but I do like it, or it's just not, in my opinion, a family appropriate kind of movie. But yeah, maybe Ghostbusters too, if you haven't seen that. I think that's pretty appropriate for kids, but I think there's certain parts that are kind of iffy in there. Alright guys, thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and you guys have a wonderful Halloween.